5 Japanese companies announced they were coming to America, and they did. I called them up. I said, Shinzo, I know you had nothing to do with it, but thank you anyway. Now they run it tough over in Japan, China, and other places. Tuesday, your vote is going to save our country. Most important election we've ever had. We are going to defeat the Marxists and the socialists and the rioters and the flag burners.
I love it. I love it. I love it. You can't beat this stuff. You can't beat President Trump. He's a tough character, and he's really good. He's really good. I tell you. This is his campaign, and this was being carried live. So I just want to click back out there and listen to the president. I think it's important that we do. Let's do it. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
So proudly stand with that beautiful phrase, made in the USA. That's what's going to happen. My plan for America will deliver a safe vaccine. You're going to have it in a few weeks. It's coming very quickly. Great companies, Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, Pfizer, many, many companies. You're going to have it. Seniors will be first in line to get it, and we will make it available to everybody free. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. We're protecting our seniors. You know, if you're a senior and if you have a heart condition, if you have any kind of a certain type, especially diabetes, you're in big trouble if you get hit by the China virus. Big, big trouble. So we're going to make that vaccine. We're going to make it free, and it's coming from great, great firms. Our vaccine will eradicate the virus. And by the way, we have it. But whether we have it or not, it's rounding the turn. It's rounding the turn. Hey, excuse me. I'm sure you didn't hear. Nobody heard this, right? I had it. Did you know that? I had to get back on the trail. I said, this is not good timing. And I got better very quickly. First Lady had it. She had it. And she got better very quickly. But I'll tell you who had it also. The doctor went to the First Lady and myself and said, Barron has tested positive. I said, excuse me, doctor, tested positive for what? He's got COVID. I said, okay. Then about 12 minutes later, I said, doctor, how's Barron doing? He's our very tall son, very tall. Has anybody noticed he's slightly tall? He's 14, and I'm saying, hello, Barron. Yeah, he's great, but he's strong. But I said, like 12 minutes later, Dr. Sean, great doctor. We have great doctors. One thing, you are president. You have a lot of doctors. Johns Hopkins, I want to thank them. Walter Reed Medical Center. I mean, Doc Ronnie is now a congressman from Texas. How about that? Doc Ronnie, he was before Sean, and Sean is now. Sean has been great. And Sean came up along with other doctors. About 12 seconds later, said, how's Barron doing? Oh, he's okay. He shed his gun. It was done like in 2 minutes. I said, hey, how come that doesn't happen with me? But I wasn't bad. You know, it was like a day. But they gave me a Moderna. Who the hell knows this was? This was a very Moderna makes it. I'll tell you who makes it really a great version. They say Eli Lilly, right? Regeneron. And they gave it to me. And I woke up the next morning and I felt I could have taken the toughest, meanest person in this room. Regeneron. Now, I don't know whether or not it worked. I like to think it had no impact. I made a statement. I said, well, I'm in no trouble because I'm young and I'm in perfect physical shape. I'm in perfect physical shape. And CNN went crazy. He's not young and he's not. They can't take a joke. No, but I was better. I was better quickly. I was better very quickly. We reduced the fatality rate 85%, and now we have the low infection fatality rate anywhere in the world by far.
I tell you, I love President Trump. He and I said this long before people were saying it. You know, I mean, I really do. And I've been called out on it. I got called out on it by a buddy of mine, Mike Steele. And you probably see Mike over at the MSNBC. Great guy. We just differ on in our politics lately, and that's okay. But I'm looking at and talking about how these athletes, these black athletes, are talking about things that they know absolutely nothing about. They don't have any facts. Well, why are you voting for Joe Biden? See, when you had athletes in the past, let's talk about athletes in the past, black athletes. I'm not talking about white athletes, because white athletes tend to be very apolitical, very apolitical. They're heroes in their own right. Black athletes, like black professionals, have always had to wear multiple hats. That is, you had a job, you had responsibilities to the race, you had responsibility to your community, you had a responsibility to give back and to help people up. These were the things we were taught when I was coming along. Today, all of these people are into themselves. Like 50 Cent. 50 Cent say, I don't want to be 20 Cent. So I'm supporting Donald Trump. Of course, his girlfriends came out and said, used to be my favorite ex-boyfriend. He said, oh, this has affected my love life, but I'm still supporting Donald Trump. So money over the chick. You get it? I love it. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. Hey, who's out there? Let's see. Let's see. Who's out there? I'm trying to pull them up. I can't see who's out there. I know there are 3 people out there on the YouTube. Go to YouTube. Go to The Reality Check with Charles Butler. You'll check me out. I'm out here, and it's here in Chicago. It's a little chilly outside. It's in the 40s. We're working hard here. Reading, writing, doing a little arithmetic. But the president is holding his own. He's holding court right now. Right Side Broadcasting is carrying this. Let's see, Baltimore. I guess Tom's out there. Hey, Roberts. Hey, Tom from Baltimore. Uh-oh. Late to class. Hope old Professor CB. Yeah, I saw you sneak in. But no, I was late. I was like 40 minutes late. This system today really messed up. We had Paul Preston with us. Paul is a talk show host on Red State. He said he has some of the same problems. But I did everything I was supposed to do. It just didn't pan out today, unfortunately. But let me see if he eventually came on. Let's see, because I can't see. I have all these windows open, right, on my system, and so sometimes I can't see when somebody calls in. So I have that system right there so I can see. But the president is doing his thing. He's cutting up over there. He's cutting up. And he's cutting out. And I tell you, he's just doing a great job explaining to the American people what he's done. I had a call yesterday from my barber. And he said to me, tell me what Donald Trump's done. I was flabbergasted. I was insulted. I became angry, agitated, because he should know what Donald Trump has done. Why am I telling a grown man what Donald Trump has done for he and his family? People said to me, and this is true, honest to God's truth. People have said, I've never, for the first time in a long time, we had money. Everybody in my family had a job. We wanted a job. I had bought my wife the Christmas present I wanted to buy her. Looking forward to buying the grandkids and the kids Easter outfits, and then coronavirus hits. Hey, but coronavirus, yeah, coronavirus. So as we move forward, as we push along, it's going to be interesting, and it's going to be a situation where we as Americans need to get out and vote for what's best for our interest. It's not in our interest for China to be our friend. It's not in our interest for our vice president to have taken hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of millions of dollars from China or Russia for any reason. Sorry, for any reason. Where did they get off doing that? It's our money. They represent us, right? I thought. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, who knows? But I tell you, it's almost time to end the show. But sorry, I'm going to keep going because we started so late. But the reality is, President Trump is over there still stirring it up. I see him. I see him on this stuff, and I'm just tempted to turn it back on because I love listening to the guy. Let's turn it back on and see what our president's talking about. Let's turn it back on. Let's see.
And they were there for 2 days. They stayed there all night. I mean, these people were incredible. And I said to my incredible Secret Service people, there's one of them, Mommy, I know I'm not supposed to say it, Mommy, I love you, Mommy. I said, Mommy, I want to go over and see it. No problem, sir. You ripped on that mask. You wouldn't even think about that. I said, let's go over and see him, Mommy. By that time, I was in good shape. I wanted to get out of here with you. But we drove in front of those people and we waved, and the people were so happy. It was incredible. It was like, it was a love fest. They were so happy. And I got back and they were saying, what a terrible thing to do. We got to take care of our people, right? We got to stay with our people. Including Secret Service, who does an incredible job. Thank you. Thank you, Bobby. The man. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you, Secret Service. They do a great job. For half a century, Joe Biden has been outsourcing your jobs, opening your borders, and sacrificing American blood and treasure in endless foreign wars. In 2016, Florida voted to fire the depraved political establishment, and you elected an outsider as your president, who is finally, if you don't mind, putting America first. That's what we're doing.
Well, folks, don't forget, not only did Florida go for Trump, they voted in an outsider as governor. They have a Republican governor. Remember, there was a big hoopla about the governorship, and it was between this black dude and the guy who's governor now, who had been a congressman. And the black guy was supposed to be ahead, right? And then he got into all of this trouble with he taken some money or some kind of malfeasance had gone on. But it was really interesting. And so Florida, went Republican. They have a Republican governor. They voted Republican for the president. And they keep saying, oh, Florida is a throw-up state. It's a toss-up state. Well, it's only a toss-up state because all of the millionaires have left New York City, and all the liberals, and they call them, anyway, all the liberals have left New York City and moved to Florida. So you have people in Florida, up and down the East Coast, and also over on the West Coast now, who are blue. They're Democrats, and that's what's changing the demographics. Florida is a no-tax state. They don't have state tax in Florida. So you have all these people, and they have, I love going to Florida. I mean, that's my father's home state. And we used to go down to Florida when I was a boy. And I tell you, I loved going there. I still have relatives down there. I loved going down there. I loved hanging out. It's great people. Missed them wholeheartely. Anyway, I hope that you all are doing well. Hope you continue to do well in the future. I'm going to go cut back to the president, see what he's talking about. Let's do that. And then we'll wind things up.
Thank you. That's incredible. What a crowd. But they're all like this, I tell you, no matter where you go. 35,000, 45,000. They never mention it, But with Biden, they never mention it either. I said, show the crowd. They have circles. Someday I'm going to hire the guy that does those circles. No, because it's really good. Big, thick, nice circles. Perfectly done. It's the best part of his campaign, the circles. And usually he's got 5 of them. Usually he can't fill them up with people, so he puts the fake news in the circle. And then they don't ask him questions. Or how about the question they asked him the other day? He's walking out with ice cream. Sir, what flavor ice cream is it? I don't know. Still, I think. Then they asked him a real question. He ran into the car, went back to the basement. Does he have the lid on again today? Almost every day. How do you put the lid? You know, when you do the lid, you know, like 5-6 days recently, that's like 50% of the campaign. Now they try and say it's because of COVID. They say the fact that he has nobody at all show up is because of COVID. No, it's because nobody shows up. And I think that's the ultimate goal. And based on the numbers that we're getting, we're going to do really well on Tuesday. Who knows? It's an election. And if we do win, you're going to see a stock market that goes through the roof. Your 401ks are going to go up by 50% quickly. You watch. I'm telling you. We know, I know all those guys. They just petrified the thought of having massive tax increases, regulation increases. They said we've been through.
Trump is great, isn't he? Trump is great. Let me see some thumbs up out there. Trump is great. I love this guy. You know, I really do. I mean, he's just, you know, he's right. Nobody shows up for Trump's campaign. Let's see. Cynthia Latson. Oops, I shouldn't have said the last name, but Cynthia said, "You have changed me." Yeah. Well, good for you. Good for you, because this Donald Trump is going to be good for all of us. And this is the first president in my lifetime. People, this is the first president in my lifetime that I've ever said, I love a president. I love President Trump. I love him because he puts America first. Cynthia says she has seen the light, and that's great. That's great. I think a lot of people have seen the light. Cynthia happens to be a beautiful Black woman who is very astute. You know, no raging liberal, no raging Republican, not really much of a political leaning. However, she knows what's best for America. We know what's best for. This is the first time that people are looking, saying, somebody put America. I tell you, I was so tired. I was so tired of people castigating Americans and castigating us for being great. Let me tell you something. You know, I lost several friends in Vietnam, my age, people that I knew. And I was trying to go to Vietnam. And he said, it wasn't that I cared about Vietnam and communism. It was about America. I think we were wrong to be over there. No question. Did my friends die in vain? Probably. Do I miss them? Of course. They'll always be 17, 18-year-old guys, you know, who were, you know, just cool dudes. And I, you know, when I look back, sometimes I miss them. That's why I look forward to my high school reunions, because I look at these people and they just make me feel good to have been part of their life and them to be part of my life. It's a true story. I love them people. I love these people. And the older you get, all the little spats you had, I really didn't have any spats that I could consider as a young man in high school. But I grew a lot. There were a lot of dynamics going on. But I can honestly say that my classmates, there's not one of them I have any ill feelings for. None of them. Only one, but that it wasn't his fault. It was something that he was part of, but he didn't know he was part of it. And one day I'll have a talk with him, probably at the next reunion. But we are coming up on our 50th reunion. It was canceled because of COVID, but we're going to do it again. Going to do it soon, I hope, because we're dying. You know, we're dying out there. We're getting older. So look, what I want to one of the things I'm going to write about, I'm going to have you guys go to my blog, is these African-American athletes. They call them African-American athletes. They're Black athletes. They don't know a damn thing about Africa. Okay, let's be clear. Anyway, these Black athletes who are promoting Joe Biden. And the question is, why? See, Black athletes, when I came along, you know who they supported? Dick Nixon. You know why? Now, you have to understand, we had the same turbulent times, only things were different. You didn't have the opportunities you had today. You didn't have white people coming out and saying, hey, Black Lives Matter. You didn't have white people coming out and said, oh, it's an atrocity. I mean, in the numbers, it's an atrocity that George Ford was choked out on the street of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Everyone was outraged. What else do these people want? I mean, everyone's outraged. No one said, well, that's just, well, it's just a poor Negro. It's just a poor black man. Nobody said that. Everyone was outraged that this man was choked out. Now, Justice Barrett said she and her daughter cried. There were a number of people who said the same thing to me. Charles, I cry. I'm sitting there and I'm cold, man. I'm just, hey, when it comes, death and dying, hey, okay, fine. But I when I saw this for the first time, I thought, this guy just killed that man on TV. What are kids looking at today? Could you imagine being 8 years old, 9 years old, 10, 15, 17 years, seeing someone die on TV? The biggest thing we saw a lot of dead bodies now when they would show clips from Vietnam. That was the first time they ever did that, showing all this madness coming back to the country. And then our vets coming back, walking literally from the jungle, going back to the bases, taking a shower, getting on a plane, and coming home from combat. Can you imagine that? No decompression time, in a military environment. We're going to because they were poor people. These were poor Americans who were fighting this battle. The rich kids were out there. Hey, hell no, we won't go. Hell no, we won't go. We got student deferments. Well, I can tell you this. Those student deferments didn't mean jack shit for black students at HBCUs or in other universities. Those draft boards call those boys up. Okay, let's see here. Attendance at half-century reunion, 8 people. Well, in my 50th year reunion, we're going to have at least 200 or 300 people. It's going to be massive. But look, so hell no, we won't go. Well, all this was going on. And you had my man, what's his name? Jim Brown. You had Bill Russell. You had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who I think was still Lou Alcindor at the time. You had all of these people who supported Dick Nixon. Why did they support Dick Nixon? Because Dick Nixon said, hey, we're going to get you jobs. We're going to get you off the street. We're going to clean up these neighborhoods. You're not going to have to, everybody wasn't rioting that was black. Black people's homes were being burned. Businesses were being burned. And not only businesses were being burned, but the homes next to those businesses were being burned. And why? The question is, why are these homes being burned? Why are you burning out our neighborhoods? See, this is a story that hasn't been reported and should be, because it's a big story. Here in Chicago, about a month ago, Black Lives Matter went to the mayor and said, we're going to shut down the freeway. We're going to march and we're going to shut down the freeway for Black Lives Matter. Because, Black Lives Matter started here. But that's a hoax. That's another story altogether. They're not about Black Lives Matter. They're about LGBT and transgender bullshit. And, it has nothing to do with Black lives. So they make this big deal of it. So I'm looking at television. I'm going, damn, I won't be going down that way on Saturday because they're going to shut down the freeway. And who knows what else they'll do, right? The black people in Inglewood, where this march was supposed to stop, they went out and told these Black Lives Matter people, get your ass back on the bus, back on the train, back in your cars, and get the hell out of our neighborhood. You come down here, you create havoc, and then we have to deal with the police and all that. Hey, what did they say about Philly? This is just, 2 days ago. Philly's burning up last 3 days, right? Last 3 nights. The protesters left and the looters came in. The protesters left and the looters came in. Whoa. The protesters, peaceful, left and the looters came in. And these are people, according to what happened in Chicago, according to my sources, these are people who came in trucks. I'm not talking about pickup trucks. I'm talking about those big, industrial trucks, that haul, equipment and sledgehammers and not windows up. Who carries a sledgehammer around in the truck? Who rides around in a big ass truck like that? Hello. I'm just saying, because you have to be cognizant of what's going on. The protesters left and the looters came in. And the announcer said that just like it didn't really, wasn't really important, but it was, because there were people out there protesting this young man being shot. And to tell you the truth, I don't know if he should have been shot or not, but the police couldn't take off running like they were scared of this guy with this knife. Now, I can tell you, if the guy had a knife, I would have pulled out my billy club and whipped his behind. That's what you're supposed to do. The lethal weapon thing, hey, that poses a problem for me. And the thing is, no warning shot, no, hey, I'm going to shoot you. The boy had serious psycho. And this is the thing today. Today in America, in the U.S., we have a lot of people who have psychological issues that are not being addressed. This started happening under Ronald Reagan. Let's be clear where it happened. Happened under Ronald Reagan, where people could release themselves from institutions, and you couldn't hold them in institutions. Started under Ronald Reagan, putting sick people back on the street, mentally ill people back on the street, and it has been a problem ever since. We got to get a handle on it, and maybe we will if we get Donald Trump back in office. But the president's still speaking, and I'm going to pull him in for just a minute, and then and hear what he's talking about, and then we're gonna end our little session. Let's see here, the Donald. Let's see, Donald, what you got? Here we go.
Thank you, Anthony. Doing a fantastic job. Florida House Speaker Chris Sprawl. I'm so young. Florida GOP Chair Joe Reuters. Joe. Where's Joe? Joe, how are we doing, Joe? We'll be out of here so fast if we don't win this election. He'll be gone. We are doing well. Yep. We're going to win. We don't win. Our country will have trouble. And vote for the congressman.
Well, one of the things that I was thinking about, they're showing pictures of Joe Biden's rally. Why is that? I'm looking. I don't think anybody's at Joe Biden's rally. They're rallying in the same city, Tampa Bay. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Hey, but it was wonderful having you guys come on and spend a little time with us. Tomorrow is Freedom Friday. I would encourage you to call in and spend a little time with us. We'll be talking about a number of issues before Election Day that affect you and your families. So call in and check us out, and we'll be sure to bring you a great show. Yeah, a great show. And I don't know, maybe I'll have some guests, maybe I won't. Who knows? You never can tell. But I like doing the show by myself generally. And what we're going to do, though, is we're going to talk about, like I said, I'm going to write this article, this little blog, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. And it'll be about these Black American athletes today versus the Black American athletes of the heyday of Dick Nixon and the 70s and Black Pride and those things, so totally different times, totally different environment. And even today, you have Jim Brown, who, he's working with Donald Trump. Hello. I didn't say he's working with Donald Trump. He's working with Donald Trump. Not me. Heat. I love it. Can't beat it. We are going to shove off, and let me see if I can pull up a little Eddie Harris and Les McCann. Let's see, Eddie Harris, Les McCann. We'll do a little compared to what? Comparing Joe to Donald. That's what I like to do. Gotta make it real compared to what? Bomb. I mean, they're jamming. They're gonna jam here in a second, but gotta make it real. I tell you, you gotta make it real. Here we go. Oh yeah, what it's for. Have one doubt.